Hello YouTube! A lot of you have been asking for longer videos, so if you didn't already, pause the video, grab your snacks and get comfortable because that's it. In this video we went spearfishing with my buddy's boat and covered some of the deeper and more complex terrains which would otherwise be unreachable. This was the first warm-up dive in the shallows and I sneaked into the shooting range of Salpa shoal, but they were not that big, so I figured I don't want to scare off potential bigger fish in the vicinity by shooting them, so I let them slide. After some more shallow dives, it was time to go a bit deeper, and here I was able to get close to those sheephead breams and chose to aim for this huge one. Unfortunately, I missed this simple looking shot, but there is a catch. When you are shooting the fish below you, you gotta aim at the lower end of the fish, not into the middle like I did, otherwise you will always send your shaft flying a few millimeters above the fish like I did here. Another sheephead bream was approaching, but it turned away a bit before coming into range, and you could probably pull this shot off with a roller spear gun, but it was a no-go for a classic. I've hit one of the octopuses my buddy found pretty badly and it teared off, and this black sea bream came to check it out, so I decided I'm gonna try shooting it first, as my buddy kept an eye on the octopus and I managed to hit it with only one bend, which was pretty impressive. After securing the fish, I dove down and reshooted the octopus. This time the hit was good and the octopus was out in no time.
Dobra.
A? Prawa.
I hesitated between showing you this dive or not, but I decided I will anyway, so you can learn from my mistake. I sneaked up to the shoal of sheephead breams again, and instead of shooting the one in front of the gun with a very low risk, I decided to wait for the bigger one to approach. They all escaped, and that's why it's important to not be too picky while spearfishing. I came back to check if they will maybe approach again, but of course they didn't, so I checked out this spiny lobster which was chilling in its hole there, and I greeted him by touching one of its antennas with the shaft tip.
Ja sam tamo normalno zaronio sad 1,5 m.
Ali baš mu, znaš kako mu vire one antene, da. Viremo one antene van, vidiš ga odmah, ono.
Neka je.
Da.
Just for the context, my buddy had pretty bad sinus inflammation, so he wasn't able to dive more than like a few meters, and that's why I caught the octopus you saw earlier. He still caught like 10 octopuses regardless of his sinus condition that day, which is more than I caught in the last 2 years. Here I dove next to this steep terrain with a lot of smaller fish. You can see 2 small amberjacks there, but they were under limit, so I decided to call for some more fish, but that was a wrong move as I spooked half of this reef. I found conger eel and it looked pretty big. Then my buddy shined his torch in there and it turned out to be pretty small. His head looked big laying in the dark though.
Mali je to, nije. Izgleda veliki, ono, vidiš glavu.
Da.
A šta je to, 2 kile?
A ima će 3.
We decided to visit another spot that was a few minutes away, so I didn't bother with taking down my fins. I shot this salpa and it tore off. I was able to track it down and reloaded the spear gun in like 15 seconds and reshoot it thanks to the magnet head on Trition 90 spear gun. So next off we have a huge crack with multiple entrances that could hold groupers, breams, you name it. There is enough room to swim to the end there, but that's just not my cup of coffee as I'm not risking my life getting stuck in there for a fish. It was pretty much empty but looks really cool. That is the same hole from another entrance and you can really see there is nothing in there apart from some micro breams. I used my body's torch as it's stronger, so I was able to lit up every dark corner to not miss something. Another bigger conger eel here, but I'm just not a fan of those. I would maybe shoot it if it had like 10 plus kilograms, but this one was like 4, so it was a pass for me. This crack looked really promising and I expected to see at least some groupers or brown migers in there, and as you can see it was completely empty, so no luck here. Moving on to the next spot, after entering the sea, this huge shoal of God knows how many sea basses came by, and it's really hard to pick wallet sized one as it's kind of optical illusion of some of them being really small, but I managed to pick regular sized one. Found another octopus pretty deep, so I decided I'm gonna grab my smaller gun. Usually I would wedge the spear gun next to them in the hole as they usually exit and you can see their size, but this was not the case here. It it grabbed my gun and I was able to feel it's big enough by the sheer power of pulling, so I shot it. I waited for it to come out, and when it did, I just pulled it out. You want to make sure you dispatch them as soon as possible so they don't suffer. You have to turn their head inside out and remove the intestines and their claw at the bottom, and that's how you clean an octopus. Usually ledges like this will hold scorpion fish, but I couldn't find any here. Also, the bottom here drops from like 15 meters all the way down, so you can expect anything coming out of the blue. Another crack under the ledge that usually held groupers and scorpionfish, but unfortunately it was empty. You can see it takes quite a lot of digging to actually find some well-lit catch. Finally, after a lot of empty holes, I found this decent sized forkbeard fish in this crack and I shot it. The hit was perfect and I was able to pull it out instantly, so I was really happy with this catch. It's my first ever forkbeard and I've heard they are very delicious, so looking forward to taste it. So yeah, that would be all for today's longer spearfishing episode, and we'll see how it turns out. If you like the video, make sure to like it as it helps the algorithm, and also subscribe so you don't miss out on our future content. Thanks for watching and stay safe while diving.